Future and Metro Boomin are the two people responsible for the so-called rap civil war, and it seems like Metro Boomin is the main mastermind behind it. But why does Metro Boomin hate Drake? Well, it seems to have started back in December of 2022 when Drake was left off of Metro Boomin's album Heroes and Villains.
I was just in the studio with Drake one time, because we were going to do some stuff on my album, and he just wanted to hear some songs from my album. Then he heard that one and really wanted to get on it. But like, I was letting him know that it was really just done for real, and I was really just set on how it was. I was like, bro, I ain't even trying to sell you no dream. Like, it's really like just locked in. I'm locked in where it was, but
their beef seemed to flare up again after Drake and 21 Savage's album Her Loss kept winning Album of the Year over Metro's album. Metro tweeted, "Yet Her Loss still keeps winning Rap Album of the Year over H&V. Proof that award shows are just politics and not for me. I don't care about awards honestly. The true award and reward is knowing that the music I spend so much time on brings joy to people's everyday lives." Metro quickly deleted it, but there was obviously some tension there. Drake also seemed to respond in a live stream.
And to the rest of you, the non-believers, the underachievers, the tweet and deleters, you guys make me sick to my stomach, fam. Honestly, if you guys want to look in my eyes, you guys want to do something? You guys, that's what I thought.
So we can't be sure if simply leaving Drake off of his album and Drake winning a bunch of awards over him was what started all of it.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Every time I hear Drake say something gangster, I gotta suspend my my absolute disbelief to even hear that shit. I'm just like, who's he threatening now for real? Like, come on now, brother, please.
But it definitely seemed to fuel the flames. And it made Metro mad enough to make 2 whole albums with Future targeted at Drake, full of a bunch of other rappers who hated him. But why did Future, an old pal of Drake, participate in the formation of this civil war? Well, the origin of Future and Drake's beef is unknown, but we do have some ideas. The last time Drake and Future collabed was on Future's album I Never Liked You. But after that, there was some speculation they had some problems.
And back to my Future, Metro Boomin, Drake
was about a girl, no?
You don't think it's weird that nothing ever happened with that fucking hit smash song that Future and Drake made with Tim's?
What do you mean? Not
Wait for you. It was a hit.
When you say,
it was a hit.
When you say
I know it was a hit. It was a smash.
So what you mean? Nothing happened with it.
Never heard it again.
And after that turned out to be the case with Future dissed Drake on his album, it left many people wondering why. Well, a lot of fans speculated for a while that the beef was caused by a girl, but Metro Boomin shut that down by saying, "Stop making stuff up for engagement and enjoy the music." So with that in mind, the next assumption was that Future and Metro are good friends, and that Future simply sided with Metro in his feud with Drake. Metro's producer tag is literally Future saying, "If young Metro don't trust you, I'ma shoot you." And for whatever reason it is, Future and Metro have made it clear that they do not trust Drake. And it's clear that Drake has problems with them too, because on his recently leaked Push-Ups diss, he said, "I could never be nobody #1 fan. Your first #1, I had to put it in your hand," which was a Future diss. And all he had to say to Metro was, "Shut your ass up and make some cups," which was pretty hilarious. So for whatever reason it started, that issue with Drake is why when they made the first album, they had to recruit another rapper who hates Drake. And that, of course, would be Kendrick Lamar. Again, Kendrick Lamar and Drake's beef is pretty well documented as of late, so I'm not going to go super in depth, but again, it has some important backstory. So Kendrick and Drake started off as friends in the early 2010s, with Drake really helping him out early on by bringing him on tour with A$AP Rocky. They collaborated a few times together as well. But the beef all started when Kendrick and Big Sean released Control, and in Kendrick's verse, he said he was coming at everyone in the rap game, including Drake. Most people weren't offended by this because Kendrick said he had love for them and figured it was just some friendly competition. But Drake took it a different way. Drake said, "I didn't really have anything to say about it. It just sounded like an ambitious thought to me. That's all it was. I know good and well that Lamar's not murdering me at all in any platform. So when that day presents itself, I guess we can revisit the topic."
Yeah, we revisited it all right.
This, along with
we revisited everything.
Blowing up and challenging Drake's status, kicked off a decade of subliminals between the two artists that I'm not going to get into. But if we fast forward to the late 2010s when Kendrick was on a hiatus after Damn, we can see Drake directly calling him out multiple times.
You know, the other 2 guys that I'm constantly, up against, which is like Cole and Kendrick. I'm excited that the decade's about to turn and we're gonna see who can, who can go that extra stretch.
All these guys that go away 3, 4,
5 years, want to chill out, all that shit. That's not me.
After First Person Shooter, a song where Drake and Cole
Everything is
collabed
subliminal.
and said they were the ghosts,
That's why they don't
Kendrick
like
had
him,
to
you hoe.
respond. That's when he featured on Like That with Future and Metro Boomin, in which he directly called out Drake. Kendrick said things like, "Mother F the big three, it's just big me. I'm really like that, and your best work is a light pack. Prince outlived Mike Jack. For all your dogs getting buried, that's a K with all these nines, he gonna see Pet Cemetery." As I'm sure most of you know, this diss sent everyone into a frenzy, and there was no way that Drake could not respond to it. So he did on the leaked diss song Push Ups, a song where most of the bars were directed at Kendrick, but he took some shots at everyone else dissing him as well. He said things like, "How you big steppin' with a size 7 men's on? Maroon 5 need a verse, you better make it witty. Then we need a verse for all the Swifties," and a bunch of other lines like that. On this song as well, Drake claimed that Like That is not what started the beef, but it's been brewing for a long time, which is evident in the decade of subliminals they've sent to each other. A$AP Rocky and Drake used to be good pals, but now there is some beef that is in large part because of a girl. Surprise, surprise. Back when A$AP Rocky was starting out, Drake took him on his Club Paradise tour with Kendrick Lamar, and because of this, Rocky said that Drake is the one who put him on.
The only person that put on for me when I ain't have nobody was Drake. I'm talking about Drake was the first person to put on like before anybody. He didn't want to sign me.
Yeah.
He didn't want to, it was like, yo, that's raw talent, yo. Like, you gotta shine, yo. I'm gonna see to it. I forever owe Drake.
They collabed together, most notably on songs like Effin' Problems, and were good buddies for a while. But as many of you probably know, Drake really liked Rihanna. They apparently dated briefly in 2009 and again in 2014, both of which Rihanna denied. But it seemed like Drake was obsessed with her, like when he gave a speech about her at the VMAs saying, "But most of all, we love the woman who hasn't changed since day one. She's someone I've been in love with since I was 22 years old. She's one of my best friends in the world. All my adult life, I've looked up to her even though she's younger than me. She's a living, breathing legend in our industry." Apparently, they even kissed on stage around this time. But there was a bit of a love triangle going on. A$AP Rocky and Rihanna met around 2011 and first collabed in 2012. He also toured with her in 2013. But then Rihanna and Rocky were seen hanging out a bit more in 2018 and 2019. And by 2020, there were rumors that they were dating after Rihanna had broken up with her previous boyfriend. Fast forward to 2022, and the couple is having a child together. Then another in 2023, and then Rihanna confirmed that their romantic relationship began in 2019. And there were even rumors they were going to get married. But one person seemed to be a tad bit jealous, and that was our good pal Drake. Many fans assumed that Drake's song Fear of Heights from For All the Dogs was about Rihanna, because he said things like, "Why they make it sound like I'm still hung up on you? That could never be me. Girl can't run me. Better him than me. Better it's not me. And the sex was average with you. I'm anti because I had it with you. And I had way better than you. TBH. Yeah, that man, he's still with you. He can't leave you." Basically, the entire first verse was aimed at Rihanna and Rocky, with, in my opinion, some pretty weak disses. Drake also seemingly dissed Rocky on the song Another Late Night when he said, "I ain't pretty Flacco, this get really rocky." Oh, and on Virginia Beach, Drake said, "I know what you say I could have treated you better or whatever, but I don't know, I think I did alright. And you know how you get drawing conclusions like you got a Parsons degree or something. I could have treated you better, that's crazy. No." In a hilarious interview where a TMZ reporter tried to jog with Rocky and ask him questions,
I'm glad
she asked about the Drake diss, but Rocky didn't respond. But then Rocky somewhat responded on Kid Cudi.
Nah, honestly, because that's kind of the vibe that I got from most of these situations, is that he a snake low-key. He's not a good friend. He's not someone who's trustworthy. And especially when it's about women, and we've heard that. This nigga love trying to sleep with people's wives and shit. So
relationships and stuff.
Right, so it seems to me that maybe it ain't everybody, Drake. It's you. Yeah. Because I'm not going to lie to you. It's hard to get like 25 people mad at you about this. 25 separate,
so many different things.
Separate people who don't fuck with each other really like that, but they all hate you.
That's funny.
Why are they teaming up like Voltron? I'm just saying.
The song Wow, where he said, "These people can't stomach me, gotta go get a mandrake." However, Rocky finally addressed the situation directly on Future and Metro's second diss album, We Still Don't Trust You, on the song Show of Hands. He said, "People swear they're the baddest. I just begged the worst one. And they feelings over women. What, you hurt or something? I smashed before you birthed, son. Flacco hit it first, son. Still don't trust you. It's always us, never them. Heard you dropped your latest shit. Funny how it just came and went." So it's pretty obvious what Rocky's talking about here. Drake didn't seem to target Rocky on his latest diss track, but he did post this meme targeted at everyone who dissed him. So at least we know why the two of them started beefing. But one person we didn't know was beefing with Drake was Rick Ross.
This thing came out of nowhere to join in this shit.
Yeah.
Where you came from, Rick Ross? Explain this shit to me now.
Rick Ross is an artist who has seemingly been good friends with Drake for a while now.
Yeah.
So many people were surprised to see them beefing. They've collaborated many times, most notably on songs like Money in the Grave and I'm On One. They even hinted at a collab album as recently as 2021. There was a brief conflict between the two back in 2016 when Drake was beefing with Meek Mill, since Meek was signed to Rick Ross's label. Ross said, "If it's gotta go there, Renzel gonna jump off the porch on your ass. That's just the way I've always been and I'm gonna die that way. You just gotta know what you're doing for your dogs." So he clearly was siding with his signee, which makes sense. And when Drake and Meek patched things up, so did Rick Ross and Drake in 2017. The most recent time we've heard Rick Ross speak positively of Drake was in May of 2023 when he said on Drink Champs that him and Drake are very close. Even in January of this year, Rick Ross said to Aiden Ross on a live stream that his favorite Drake collaboration was Stay Schemin', and that it was a magical experience making it. In March of this year, Rick Ross and his girlfriend Christina Mackey announced that they had broken up back in February. But then, for some reason, Rick Ross unfollowed Drake on Instagram after Like That by Future, Metro, and Kendrick was released. Everyone was focused on the Kendrick verse, and may not have realized that Rick Ross was featured on the album as well. An album that, mind you, was full of Drake disses. It was basically targeted at Drake, if you haven't picked up on that already. Ross's verse didn't have anything to do with Drake, but it may have been that tiny bit of allegiance that upset Drizzy. Because shortly after that, Drake invited Rick Ross's ex-girlfriend Christina Mackey to his concert, and it was a fancy invite that she posted, which probably had Mr. Ross feeling some type of way. This is when people thought there was beef, and then it was confirmed not too long after.
I would say so.
Yeah,
he has some bars for Rick Ross.
That's beef worthy.
He said, and
notice what's he doing again? Going after somebody's girl or somebody's ex. It's like, what do you?
True, yep.
He's doing the same shit.
Yep.
I hate niggas like that, bro. Like honestly,
he is sneaky.
Sneaky as fuck. I'm glad they jumped your stupid ass.
Like
That's the best way he can get back at them. He can't do it on a rap.
Every song that made it on the chart,
fight because he's not really gangster.
Spend that little check you got and stay up on my business. So he briefly addressed Rick Ross, saying he took his girl, referenced Rick Ross's past as a correctional officer, and then said that every song on the charts that Rick has got has been from him. He didn't spend too much time on Rick Ross as there were many other people that he had to send shots at, but it was enough for Rick Ross to immediately get in the studio and respond to Drake in a full-length diss track. He said, "Ghostwriters, they get to floss what you could have had. Record label taking a loss, are you in your bag? You a worker wanting to chart, don't make me laugh." Here he directly addressed Drake's claims and said that because Drake outsources things like ghostwriters and has to pay for them, that the record label is probably taking a loss on his music. Ross continued later on saying, "Like his moves, but he never had to fight in school. Always ran, another person had to write your grooves. Flow is copy and paste, Weezy gave you the juice. Another white boy at the park want to hang with the crew." In this line, he calls Drake soft again, saying he doesn't live the lifestyle he claims to have lived. And Ross also said that Drake just got his flow from Lil Wayne. On the hook, Ross called out Drake for leaking his diss track instead of speaking directly. But one of the most interesting things to happen on this track was in the outro when he accused Drake of wanting to be white, so he had a nose surgery to make his nose smaller than his dad's nose. The nose accusation actually had Drake's mom texting him asking, "The internet is saying you got a nose job?" To which he responded, "It's coming from Rick Ross, the guy I did songs with. He's gone loopy off the Mounjaro. He hasn't eaten in days and it's turned him angry and racist. He's performing at proms for money. It's bad. Don't worry, we'll handle it."
Oh my god.
Rick Ross saying, "You're one nosy goof." Then Rick Ross claimed he unfollowed Drake because Drake sent a cease and desist to French Montana, which finally explained why the beef started in the first place. A lot of people were speculating that the song Splash Brothers from Mac and Cheese 5 by French Montana was supposed to have Drake on it because of a leak. There is a version of the song out right now with Rick Ross and Lil Wayne, but not one with Drake. So many people think that Drake sent a cease and desist so he wouldn't release it. Of course, we don't know the exact details. French Montana hasn't commented on the situation, but since Rick Ross said it and it doesn't really seem like something to lie about, it's likely that this is the reason why Rick Ross is beefing with Drake. Also, they've been arguing back and forth on Instagram talking about who's got the Baker Mansion and stuff like that. Crazy rich people arguments I couldn't imagine relating to, but it's not super relevant to the beef. But all it tells us is that Drake doesn't take Rick Ross seriously enough to address him anymore in his songs. However,
listen, this whole
Big
beef is crazy.
Brewing. Big beef brewing.
To me, like, people are like, oh, the whole industry is jealous of Drake. Nah, I think you just pissed off enough people in enough different situations, and you did enough snake shit involving women that when a couple people dissed you, everybody else who don't like your stupid ass is like, aha, here's my chance.
To come at you.
Yep, I'm gonna jump on the train and jump you together. You turn around, here's another one.
Yep.
Good luck with that.
Get you in trouble, get you in heat, like
Yeah.
You messed up, Drake.
And then they appointed Kendrick the chairman of the committee of whipping your ass.
Sliced you like a ninja.
Oh my God, folded him up. Hey, listen. Stop fucking with people, girlfriend and wife. Maybe you fucking do better in beef.
And stop fucking with people, and maybe you'll be better at life.
Maybe have more friends.
Right.
Because not a single person came up to defend this nigga from the Geppetto allegations.
No.
No one. Everybody's just like, oh, I guess that's what they say about you.
But seeing this was just hate fueled. This was just hate fueled, and he just wanted to come after him and put heat on him. Well, so it's a possibility he did do things with little girls, but it's a possibility that he didn't.
Right. Well, you know what you tell Drake? You get what you pay for, nigga.
Yeah, you mess with the wrong one.